So many reasons, excuses. So many reasons and excuses I've had not to go live this full moon. And what I advocate is voice. What I advocate is being visible. So therefore, every time I become visible and every time I go live is like me going to the gym. It's like me going out and doing something I don't particularly want to do, but I know that my message is so strong and comes from my absolute core, and I know that it will serve me well long term. So it's like a discipline that I feed every time, and 9 times out of 10 I'm talking to myself, but I cannot express to you, and if this is you, then let's talk about your visibility, let's talk about your communication and your voice, because when I come to the end of this journey and I look back, and if I've not done this, then I would have not lived through and through to my core of who I know I am. So it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't actually matter what the outcome is or the feedback that I get or anything like that. It's purely the practice of me being truly authentic to myself. Take note of that. Write that one down. So yesterday in London at about 2 a.m. we had the full moon. In New York, I think it was about 9 p.m. the day before the 21st. Full moon in Capricorn. I think we've got 2 of these. I'm not sure it's in the same month. We've got two full moons in Capricorn, which can be absolutely delightful, but at the same time, this one is directly opposite to Cancer. So it's about balance between home and work. So this just brings up so much for so many people, because of our work-life balance and where we're at with it. So I'd love to know if there's anything that's impacting you right now, whether that be positive or the way you see it as positive or negative, but anything that you're experiencing at the moment is relative to your life experience, and resistance is growth. So finding balance, so maybe taking the time just to write down how you're feeling about how you earn your money and where your money comes from, and if someone else is the decider of that, or where it's coming from, whether you've got a side hustle. I don't like that word because side hustle just sounds like something a little bit wrong, but if you're developing something that inevitably is going to pay you well, like in your future, that you're not evidently seeing anything from now, just working on that relationship with it and falling in love with it, I think. So it's about balance. It's about facing facts, but at the same time evolving from the facts into and developing more of who you want to become, because more is okay. So it's always the same things that come up, but in a different way and a different facet depending on what you're, where you are in your solar experience. Being gentle with yourself and talking gently to others, because this is just vital to your evolution and to your karma. And sometimes it's not that easy, especially when you're feeling hurt inside, and you're looking to express that somehow, but you're not quite sure how to do that, or where you want it to come from. So we do find that we can I don't know whether lash out's the right word, but we can sort of spill over our energy inappropriately. So meditation, I'm going to go into meditation a bit more in a second without boring you to tears, but Vipassana is a practice of meditation which is kind of becoming the observer. So when you let me talk about this now. When you become like agitated by something externally, for instance, and that thing is pushed you or triggered you, and you feel that you're just about to explode and something's going to come out and you're going to regret it, become the observer. This is such a powerful practice. If you can master this, then you're on your way to an enlightened light. There's more light that's going to shine upon you. When you see that coming up within you, and we all do, because we all do, no one's excluded from this, then it's to observe the sensation, respond to the sensation within, and allow for the sensation to be there. So see it, feel it, allow it, and as a result that formula releases it, and you don't have to do anything. You just see. So they describe the yogi sages as seers. So that's what they're doing when they're in meditation, is they're observing. And you can remove yourself from the senses, like hearing, tasting, touching, seeing, smelling, to move within. And I mean, although that can be uncomfortable, it is super powerful, super powerful. So gentle words and love. Yeah, falling in love with yourself, falling in love with every sensation that you have. For me, I don't know if you can hear it, my voice is wobbly. I lost my beautiful boy soul last week, who I had for 10 years. I said I wouldn't cry. Oh God. And for me, he was home. I'm just going to go with this. He was home for me. So wherever we went, and we moved around a lot, and he was really adaptable, but wherever we went, he was my home. So now I've got to re-establish my home, and at the moment it's very what's the word for it, transient. I'm not quite sure. And he had to be euthanized because he was so poorly after 10 years. And so home is different now, and I'm just trying to work it out, but I understand the process of change. So this is really massive for me, like when you're a grafter and you love to work and everything about what you do is creative and expressive, you can actually move home. You can actually move home from your peaceful home into your work home, which is not healthy. And you lose a little bit of control over your peace. So it's definitely worth, if that's you, then I would definitely take a look at where your home is. And if you're finding a home in your work, and that's someone else's workplace or someone else's business, then really take a look at how you're investing into it and how maybe you can invest into more of yours. So like I say, Soul was ultimately, and I didn't realise, and I'm sure I'm going to get people saying, well, it's only a cat. But when he passed away, part of me literally dissolved. And I have to rebuild that place. I have to rebuild that home. So now that's what I'm journaling on, is deciding where home is for me now. How home's going to serve me better. One thing I know for sure is having animals around me is the most delightful life experience I've had. And I will have that back, and I will do it differently, and I will do it better. And yeah, I didn't think I was going to cry, but 10 years ago when he came in, he literally cracked my heart open. And he had such a powerful... Animals, oh my god, they're just amazing, aren't they? So, deciding what home is for you and where you're building your life with your work. Full moon in Capricorn. I mean, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. The sun and the moon are they're completely direct as well. So there's a very strong emphasis on light and dark. So you may feel you're going between the two. No, I am. And it fluctuates. So there's a, it's really important to be really aware at the moment and going into that seeing, just watching yourself, just being very observant of yourself. So if you're in the North Hemisphere, it's warm, like us in the UK. So why not spend more time with your loved ones? Why not have a bit more playtime? That feels like home. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, then it's getting colder. Why don't you snuggle up with someone and really just making a point of doing that, like, to feel what home feels like. And then just finding some love in your work, wherever that is. I think everyone can do that. Everyone can do that. There is love in that somewhere. What else? I think that might have been really good for me to have a little cry on Instagram, because I've never done it before, and it feels real, and it feels vital, and it feels releasing. And it's good to know what your voice feels like when you get emotional. So if you feel like your voice is so important, and there's so many ways that we can stay quiet, be less visible, be less loud. But when there's something inside of you that has to be said, there are ways for you to do it. And there are ways, I think social media is becoming more and more vulnerable. So allow yourself to have the frequency of sadness, and be gentle with yourself and express it. So from me to you, this is sending you lots of love. And get adventurous with your feelings. So over and out. Watch this space, lots of new things happening, especially in the world of frequency for us. Lots of new things to play with. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. If you feel that you're being held back in your voice, tell me. Talk to me. It's ironic, isn't it? Be so delighted to work with you if you feel like it might help. Okay, have a beautiful afternoon. Bye. Love you. Bye.